Good evening. When I was chairman, we would have a bar at the back of the room. I don't know what happened to this place when Cato took over. So, in February 2008, some of you know, I sat on a lawn in the cold, dark smog of New Delhi with my wife, and I had the opportunity to let her know that our 14-year incredible run had hit a major speed bump. Some of you have heard that we sat on that lawn right after I received an email from my office letting me know our bank line had been maxed out and was about to be pulled due to yet another major loss in yet another quarter. My wife, as some of you know, didn't really know what that meant. So I explained to her we would be cutting our costs. I would be cutting my pay. We would be cutting companies. That we were broke, and that all the family money I had invested was gone. So I sat on that lawn in Delhi 3.5 years ago, saddened, embarrassed, and somewhat clueless as to what was going to happen next in my life. In May of 2008, we figured out just how bad it was. We sat on a different lawn and realized that we were in serious trouble as we started to put up the for sale signs. We made a plan to sell all our possessions or our stuff. Probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Thank you, Barrett, for reminding me. We cut our costs and we made moves to borrow the money we needed to bridge the gap between what we were making and what we were paying, not for an extravagant lifestyle, but in debt payments. And then something wonderful happened, because misery loves company. August happened, and you all joined me on my recession bandwagon. And I have no idea why you guys decided to come on this ride with me, but I was happy to have you there. What some of you don't know is that we built our company back over the last 3 years. I forgot to tell you that part of the story when we were in New Orleans. We built the company back, we paid back all the debt, we made the money back, and most importantly, we learned how to maintain our happiness throughout the ups and downs that still keep happening to us and happen to all entrepreneurs. So I'd like to tell you why we fell and why we rose again, and I hope I can help prevent you from ever experiencing another recession. On a different lawn in beautiful Laguna Niguel, California, Jill and I made our recovery plan. We laid out exactly what we were going to do at exactly every turn, and we planned for just about every possible scenario while we were calm and collected on that lawn. Did the same in my business. We called it a punt plan. We knew exactly what we would do every time something bad happened, and it was all written out, and it was like a script that we followed. And there were quite a few events that caused quite a few series of punts, unfortunately. A lot of speakers get up and talk about the need for a plan or a strategy, and I think they're totally right. I don't think we do a very good job of building plans and strategies as entrepreneurs, and we go back to that first stage slide we had up here, the white one, and went into the second stage. Some of us never get to the second stage because of the lack of planning, but I don't think that the planning is good enough, because the plannings don't usually have limits. The plans aren't as objective as they should be, and the plans just aren't good enough. I had a plan. It's what got me into this mess. It was a bad plan. It was a good plan that got me out. We cut 30% of our revenue when we started sloughing off our losing brands. We had 6, we chopped 4. We also cut 40% of our spending because we hit those trigger marks. And that was tough on me and tough on everybody in the company, but we had the plan and we had the trigger marks and we had analyzed it and looked at it and we succeeded. because 2009 was the best year we ever had. And 2010 was the best year we ever had. And 2011 ends for me in 11 days, and it's the best year we ever had. And 2012 will be the best year we ever had. So we succeeded. We succeeded because we learned from the fire that we threw ourselves in. So why did I fail? Why do so many people fail? Why are there so many people that used to be in this room that are no longer in this room? And it's not because it's 6, it's because they don't belong to EO anymore. So why is it that some people failed, like myself, and some people barely hang on, and other people, it's like nothing ever happened to them? Why is that? I think it goes beyond the market and the economy. As we all know, there's people in just about every market and just about every industry that have done just fine despite whatever happens. So it can't be the market and the economy. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond the strategy and the planning. It goes to better assessment. So we fall as entrepreneurs many times, and I fell as an entrepreneur for similar reasons. We don't focus on the core. I had 6 brands, none of them were related. We start new things that have nothing to do with our core competencies. We don't leverage economies of scale. We don't control the inner marketer inside us that gets us all excited about the opportunities and sometimes blinds us with that optimism. So instead of moving forward in a methodical fashion, we move forward blindly. Jealousy drags us into ventures because we're jealous of those that have more. And we get into things that we know nothing about. And I don't know if Warren said it today, but he said it before, as opposed to being jealous down. Jealous of those kids on the street in India with a smile on their face, even though they're begging for food. We don't cut deep enough because our optimism again blinds us, and we can't get in front of the business with the cuts we need to because we're too cheery. We don't understand what's coming down the pipe. And then the worst, when things go real bad, some of us just dwell on it, and it causes us to make more bad decisions and more bad decisions. It comes down to discipline. Discipline to control the entrepreneurial optimist, discipline to control the inner marketer, discipline to look at things objectively, not subjectively. I can only talk about one thing today because Reza has reminded me numerous times that I only have 17 minutes via numerous emails, chats. I guess I have a reputation, but I'm the only one that can see the clock. So I still will only talk about one thing, the inner marketer. And the inner marketer is a fantastic element of the entrepreneurial DNA, probably the most important element. The inner marketer is the thing inside us that tells us that we can do it. Our parents taught us as a little kid, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And we just took off over that hill, and that train kept going, and our inner marketer has faced down every naysayer that we can think of, the bankers, the friends, everyone we've heard about today, all the naysayers. The inner marketer is what allows us to do that. The inner marketer is what drives us. It creates our tenacity. It's the engine behind the economic engine that is entrepreneurship. It may be the single greatest asset that people in this room have, and every one of us has it. But like most things, the inner marketer to excess creates problems. Most things except for alcohol. Without control, there are problems. And you guys have seen these problems before in yourself, some of you in me, or in your peers. The entrepreneurial ADD. That's when we got something good going and we're killing it with our core business, and all of a sudden, way over here, the shiny object pops up and we go, hey, that's a good idea. I'll stop what I'm doing over here and I'll go do that. But do you own your whole market? Do you have a big market share? Have you mastered all your systems? That's the entrepreneurial ADD. The lucky lemming scenario, that's when all the odds are stacked against us. And we're sitting there thinking, I'm going to be the one. There's a 0.5% chance that anybody can win at this, and it's going to be me. So we face down those odds instead of simply looking for an opportunity with better odds. What a novel concept. Now, my favorite, as all my friends know, is the steamroller. And that's what we become, especially me, when someone tells us something we don't want to hear. And in my case, back in 2006 and 2007, when I got into this mess, it was, you won't make money. Right over them. The steamroller, the CFO, the COO, whoever it is, the naysayer that comes to you, an overactive inner marketer thinks they're weak, and we bowl right over them. Fourth is ready, aim, fire. We've all seen that before. The inner marketer tells us, we don't have time, we better rush to it. And my favorite I didn't even put on here because I couldn't find clip art for it. Remember clip art? And that's the objective analysis of opportunity cost. Entrepreneurs do not adequately analyze opportunity cost. So we go off and do new things instead of doing more of what we do well. We take ourselves out of the business and don't even think about what is that going to do to our business. And it kills us, and the inner marketer thrives on all that and goes from being a tool to a cancer. So how do you control it? First is your attitude. Do you have an attitude of harvesting contrarian opinion? Or do you have an attitude of steamrolling contrarian opinion? Do you look at it as an asset or a hindrance? Ask questions. Analyze objectively. So we can dig into that a little bit more. I know that everyone in this room can learn to control their reactions when faced with the input of their CFO or COO. I know we can get good at calming ourselves down and harvesting whatever it is that they've got in their brain that we hired them for. So ask questions, but good questions. Poke holes in this. What's wrong with this plan? Where did I go wrong? Give me your analysis and tell me where this will break. Studies show that human beings are twice as likely to seek out information that confirms what they believe than to even consider contrarian opinion. And we need to stop that. We're better than that. The attitude of savoring the contrarian opinion as opposed to that welling, filling inside, you know it. Your CFO says, opens their mouth. Mine, I just look at her in the window and I go, oh my God. That's how I used to be until I realized she was right and I lost all my money and all my stuff and nearly my marriage. Where's Biz? You want to find out if you're happily married? Dump all your stuff down the toilet. And then leave for 3 years on the EO tour bus and see if you're happily married. Thank you. So the attitude has changed for me, and I hope I can help it change for you without the pain and suffering. Those people with the contrarian opinion, I heard people say the opposite today. They're wrong. We can harvest, including Colin Powell, we can harvest the contrarian opinion. We're still going to ignore most of it, but there's little pieces in there we need to hear about. I have a quick case study. I sat at the Bonaventure Hotel right down the street, had the biggest deal I've ever had offered to me. We were going to be the largest service provider to the Home Depot, got the sticker on the Lamborghini, ready to go. 4 years, $100 million exit, guaranteed. And we walked away from the deal. We walked away from the biggest deal we'd ever been given because it didn't make sense. The power was in the hands of the Home Depot. The opportunity wasn't there. We didn't have control. 2 hours later, driving down the 405, we changed our minds. 4 years later, $6 million of cash, gone. Gone. And every time, it was always in $1.5 million increments. 1.5, oh, that hurts. Get another mortgage, boom, that hurts. Sell the Ferraris, boom, that hurts. Get another credit line, boom, that hurts. Gone. So do the math. How long does it take to make up $6 million at 10% net margins? How long is it, I'm sorry, how much revenue? How long does it take when you're churning out $25 million a year? What do you think it does to your business when your balance sheet has that big of a hit? what does it do to your banking relationships? So the question is, why didn't we walk? Because the intermarketer was alive and well. The next time we did, the solar business, it's construction, it's what I do, it's business to consumer sales. But we walked because we looked at the model, we didn't see the economies of scale. It's a good model, $16 million in revenue in 4 years, $2 million of profit. We walked and we focused on our core brands, the two that were left. And those two brands generated $6 million more in revenue and $2 million more in profit in the first year, and they did it again the next year and again the next year. Today in 2011, our two brands still don't generate the same amount of revenue as our 6 brands did, but they generate nearly 3 times as much profit, and that matters more. And I'll say that again. We're generating 10% less revenue, but 2.5 times the profit with 2 companies instead of 6, because we're focused on our core and we're controlling the crap that's slewing around in our intermarketer. Thanks. So the actions for you, first of all, you are special. You are, and so's your team. That contrarian opinion that you hired him for needs to be sought daily. Second action, what are your harvesting questions? Poke holes in this. Where am I wrong? Make a list and practice, because it takes time. Third, use objective analysis, not confirmation bias. We all want to prove ourselves right. And lastly, slow down. The only caveat to my whole speech is I just want to stress that without the intermarketer, none of us would be here. It is key. And I also want to stress, because I had all the money stuff up here, none of this matters to me, the money stuff. It doesn't determine the happiness. So the successes and failures of all of us in our business life doesn't determine who we are. Our character determines who we are. And my partners and I have found happiness at the low points and the high points, and I hope that this talk helps you do it too. Thank you, Reza. Thank you, committee. Namaste.